Privet, Katila, ja, ni хорошо, because today we are going to be discussing immigration policy for the United States and some solutions to fix our system. There are a few ground assumptions that these new proposals are rooted in, and we need to agree on these common ideas so we can actually get ahead and work on the solutions. So there are four. That one, that borders are real and should be secure, and that nations have the right to control who comes in, and that immigration is a privilege and not a right. Two, that illegal immigration should be combated and minimized and fought on as much as possible. That three, that an immigration system should respect and take into account the fundamental character of the nation and try not to alter it in a drastic way, and should focus on the needs of the American worker and the American natives before anyone else. And that number four, that it is the duty of the immigrants to assimilate into America, not coexist in multiculturalism, not just simply integrate, but assimilate fully with their previous identity cast off. These new proposals are under a banner I have named as the Patriotic New Deal, a list of 15 policies that fundamentally rewrite our entire immigration system. The overall preamble for this Patriotic New Deal is to, quote, to suppress, limit, eradicate, combat, and dissuade illegal immigration, establish a brand new immigration system that puts the needs of the American worker first, and a system that promotes, recognizes, and protects the underlying American identity, culture, and heritage. For the sake of protecting our national identity, protecting the American worker, bringing in immigrants who will assimilate and are of high character, for the sake of our social services, our environment, and our physical safety, we hope to put an immigration system that takes all of this into account, an immigration system for America and for Americans. So the first proposal is a total immigration moratorium for 10 years. No new immigrants may be admitted as citizens of the United States, or new citizenship papers may be handed out. Most new work visas would also be shut off as well, with a few exceptions for like studying, traveling, and other such cases. This will allow America a pause. If a bathtub is overflowing, you can try all these different techniques to get the water low, but if water still flows in, you won't get anything done. So a total moratorium on all new immigrants for 10 years. This time frame will allow the current immigrants to assimilate, give us time to redesign our whole immigration system before we start allowing people in again. A much needed pause so we can get our house in order. Second is the repeal of the Hart-Celler Act of 1965 and a bringback of the national origins quota. So after 10 years pass, immigration will open up again, and we need clear limits and standards on who exactly we admit. There will be a hard cap of 100,000 new immigrants that may be naturalized. This is a sharp 90% cut on current immigration numbers. The quota for this 100,000 allows for 50% of that to be from Europe, 25% from Asia, 13% from Latin America, and 12% from Africa. So for example, only 13,000 new citizenship are allocated every year to those from Latin America. Once that limit is passed, no new immigrants may be admitted from that region for that year. The goal being is to preserve America's traditional base and help end the era of mass immigration, with the rare slots to be given to those who fully want to assimilate into our way of life. So we have clear limits, and we take in the few, but the great. Third is a $30 billion border security infrastructure project funded through a remittance tax. Through walls, fencing, drones, surveillance, border defenses, anything that helps secure the border and help maintain and control the flow of immigration, mostly from the southern border. Whatever does the best job at stopping the flow of illegal aliens at the border will be utilized. That could mean a concrete wall or other measures. This would put people to work, create a true secure and fortified border, and the remittance tax is yet another anti-illegal immigration measure. We either have borders or we are not a nation. Fourth is tripling ICE agents from 20,000 to 60,000 and turn them into a real deportation force. Even if we can't deport every single illegal immigrant, the massive sweeps and raids will force many illegal immigrants to voluntarily leave. The deportations will focus on criminals, welfare leeches, repeat offenders, along with expanding the ICE's powers to detain and deport illegal immigrants. The funds come from the remittance tax, and we can also scale down our operations in defending other countries' borders and assets, and use the money instead to expand the Customs Border Patrol and use American military personnel along with the Customs Border Patrol to help man this border border defenses and help combat human and drug trafficking, and illegal migration. And we could also use these funds to expand detention beds and immigration judges. Fifth is making English the national language of the United States, and the multilingual use in government, voting, schools, etc., and require that all new immigrants to learn intermediate English if they wish to obtain citizenship. We will also have stricter tests for civics, history, and culture to make immigrants integrate more. You can know any language you want, but the government will run on English and will recognize English as America's true official language. Along with immigrants needing to know the language, they also must know basic civics, history, and culture if they wish to immigrate here. 6 is instituting mandatory E-Verify, which mandates businesses must verify that their workers are legal or have proper work visas, effectively cutting illegal immigrants from getting jobs. We will also use stronger ICE powers to raid businesses that hire illegal immigrants and levy larger fines for every illegal hired. This combats illegal immigration and ensures that jobs go to native U.S. workers. 7th is establishing a pathway to citizenship, but it's not quite what you think it is. There is a point system in place where, in order to get a slot into getting accepted into becoming a citizen, whoever applies and gets the most points gets to start the citizenship process, and as mentioned before, there is a limit for every place on Earth. So, you get a blue national card if you are accepted, which replaces the green card and allows you to work, study, or just reside in the United States. But you don't enjoy the full privileges and rights of citizenship yet. You must be on this blue national program for 5 years, and if you pass all the tests and residency requirements, you get citizenship at the end of the stay. At the end of your stay, but at the end of the 5 years. While you're on the blue national program, it is required you settle with a place of residence, get a job, don't use welfare, continue to learn English, and have good moral character. If you commit a crime or stay unemployed for long periods or can't learn English, your citizenship process is canceled. At the end of the 5 years, you're given the final English test, your civics and history test, and there is an annual checkup if you have a job, if you have committed any crimes, etc. If everything gets passed, you are given citizenship. This makes sure new immigrants truly want to become Americans and brings in only the best, brightest, and those who want to immigrate. In order to be selected to fill one of the few slots available to get citizenship and to start your blue national card, there's a few ways that give you points. So the point system for getting this to get selected is 1, you have worked in the United States before. 2, you have a higher education degree or trade, extra points for more advanced and rare degrees. 3, you have studied in the United States before. 4, you have a spouse or an immediate family member that is a U.S. citizen. 5, you have a rare high skills or talent. 6, you already speak basic English. And 7, this is obvious, you have no involvement in terrorist, criminal, or juvenile behavior. We could determine which one of these has more priorities, which give you more points. But those are things that get taken into consideration when we give you points. And also, new immigrants who commit a high felony or treason may have their citizenships revoked. 8th is to repeal birthright citizenship and dual citizenship. The only way you can automatically get U.S. citizenship is if you were born to 2 United States citizens. This can be done through a court challenge or a constitutional amendment. We would also do this along with abolishing dual citizenship. You're only loyal to one country and one country alone. Current dual citizenship holders must choose which one they would like to keep. 9th would abolish chain migration. No longer can you simply become a U.S. citizen because a U.S. citizen sponsors you. You do get a few points towards applying for a blue national card if you have a spouse or an immediate family member that is a U.S. citizen, but it is no longer fast-tracked. So family-based immigration is, for all intents and purposes, cut off for good. 10th is to institute mandatory biometric screening for visa applicants, forcing visa applicants to post bonds as well, and allowing the government to track their financial status. If they overstay their visa, they have a 30-day grace period to leave afterwards. And if they overstay that, they are tracked down and deported and barred from entering the United States again. This is to go side by side with border security funding, since visa overstays is the other biggest pathway of illegal immigration. 11th is actually pretty simple. Just simply abolish the diversity visa lottery. It's useless, it's simply a feel-good program, and it's probably the most useless program in the United States. Get rid of it entirely. 12th is to create an immigration czar that would work throughout all the executive agencies to help enforce immigration law and combat illegal immigration and snuff out welfare given to illegal immigrants, which is another way to combat illegal immigration. Also make it a federal issue and make it a treasonable offense for a state or county or city to harbor or not comply with immigration rulings, with sending in the military for those not complying. It would be like, if we were at war with Canada and California started negotiating its own peace dealings with Canada. This is not a state issue, it is a federal one, and if states openly defy federal rules, they need to be put in line. So this fights against sanctuary cities. 13th is to completely overhaul the work visa system, reducing visas like H-1Bs from low-skilled to high-skilled. We need a hire American rule, so companies hire Americans first before they can resort to hiring foreign workers. Most low-skilled visas should either be completely eliminated or lowered drastically. We would lower the amount of employment-based visas to 80,000, with a bigger percentage given to those who invest or have high skills or want to study. If companies can't find enough workers, they would have to instead to raise their wages so workers can be enticed to work for them. 14th is to reform our asylum laws. So only Canadians, Cubans, and Mexicans can apply for asylum directly in America. Everyone else must apply in the nearest safe country. If they pass through a safe country, they are automatically banned from becoming an asylum seeker. If approved, there is a strict biometric screening, background check, screening procedures, and if all these are met, you are given an asylum card. You cannot apply for citizenship or permanent status, or apply for American welfare, and every 2 years your card must be re-looked at. The main point is to send you back to your country of origin once it's safe. This ensures no one can bypass the system through asylum law to become citizens, and we truly only get those who are fleeing persecution or violence instead of asylum shoppers. We help those truly in need and provide a way so they can head back to their own country instead of staying in America. 15th, and lastly, is to allow for voluntary repatriation of immigrants to head back to their country of origin, with a gentleman's agreement with other countries. Funds from multiple immigration enforcement schemes would be used to fund these immigrants to move back. This would allow immigrants who settled in this country to move back to their countries of origin if they so wish. So these are the policies that we should put in place for America, which I believe would help combat illegal migration, help secure our borders and safety, end mass migration, assimilate immigrants into the grander American project, and protect America's identity, culture, and language. This will allow us to establish our own American welfare state, protect our environment from an ever-increasing population, protect the American worker from cheap labor, and help combat crime and international criminal syndicates. I hope you enjoyed my list of policies I have laid out to help fix our current immigration system. This is my first video where I break down an issue and give my own opinion on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you would like to see more, be sure to check out my Patreon, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Aim high, wander on, from America with Russian love.